Grade 3, Laws of Indices, pages 7 to 8. Let's look at the first question. It says the word reciprocal. Now reciprocal means inverse, and the inverse of 5 is 1 over 5 or 1/5. Question B, I'm going to start by ignoring the negative power and I'm going to work out 3 to the power of 2 or 3 squared, and 3 squared is 9. Now the negative power means reciprocal, and we now know reciprocal means inverse. So the inverse of 9 is 1/9 or 1 over 9. This symbol here means square root, and square root is the opposite of squaring. So the square root of 81 is 9. It can also be -9, but for the exam 9 is acceptable, and the reason why it's -9 is because a negative times a negative is a positive. Question number 2b, we're going to work out 5 squared, which is 25, 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, because 2 times 2 times 2, I've wrote it out 3 times because it's a power of 3, is 8. 25 add 8 is 33. Question 3. Now I've been asked to write this in order of size, starting with the smallest numbers. I've got 2 numbers which are still in indices form, so I need to change them. 5 to the -1, if you remember from question 1a, is 1/5. And 5 to the power of 0, anything, any number, any letter to the power of 0 is 1. Now we have a fraction and a decimal. We need to either have both fractions or both decimals, and I have a preference for decimals. 1/5 is the same as 2/10 because I've doubled them. Double the numerator and double the denominator. And I know 2/10 is 0.2. So I'm now going to order them in size. -5 is the smallest. I'm going to cross it out so it reminds me I've used it. Then I'm going to need to put 0.2, but I put it as 5 to the power of 1 because that's how the question was given. Then 0.5 followed by 5 to the power of 0. Question 4a. Now this says 3x squared equals 147. So 3 times something gives me 147. I'm going to need to use the bus stop method. 3 goes into 14, 4 times, remainder 2. 3 goes into 27, 9 times. So I know this number is 49. Now I need to work out what number square gives me 49. Square root. So the square root of 49 is 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. Part B, we're going to ignore the negative power, so we're going to work out 2 to the power of 3, and 2 to the power of 3 from 2b is 8. Now the negative power, remember, means reciprocal or inverse, and the inverse of 8 is 1/8. And then the final part on this is we're going to work out what 3x squared raised to the power of 3 is. So if we raise it to the power of 3, we write it out 3 times and we multiply. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, and x squared times x squared times x squared is x to the power of 6, because when we multiply we add the powers or the indices. Right, let's look at question number 5. The bases are the same, that's the big numbers. We are multiplying, so we add the powers. So this is a to the power of 9. Now we can see this line between the numerator and the denominator of the fraction means divide. So we're actually doing 45 divided by 5 because we're dividing the numbers. And notice I'm putting that part of the answer in the answer space. Now we're going to do e to the power of 6 divided by e. There's no power, so we need to put 1. And we always put the number 1 to show it is there. If we put 0, we know that anything to the power of 0 is 1, and that doesn't work. E to the power of 6 divided by e to the power of 1 is e to the power of 5. When we divide, we subtract the powers. And the last one, f to the power of 8 divided by f to the power of 2 is f to the power of 6. Because when we divide indices, we subtract the powers. Okay, let's move on to part C. Is 9 to the power of a half. 9 to the power of a half means square root. So this is actually square root of 9, which is 3. It can also be negative 3 because a negative times a negative is positive. Right, let's move on to question 6. 5 to the power of 4 times 5 to the power of 5. Bases are the same. We are multiplying. We add the powers. So it is 4 add 6, which is 10. 7 to the power of 5 divided by 7 to the power of 2. Bases are the same. We are dividing, so we subtract the powers. So it is 7 to the power of 3 because 5 take away 2 is 3. Question number 7. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. This is 7 to the power of 0, which is 1. Part 2. 5 to the negative 1, we've done that previously and we know that is 1/5. And 9 to the power of half, we did that on question 5C, so we know that answer is 3. Last two questions. 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. And finally, cube root. Cube root of 64, and we're just going to work that out. So we're looking for a number that when you cube it gives us 64. Right, we've got 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27 because it's 3 times 3 times 3. 4 cubed is 64, so I know my answer is 4. And 5 cubed is 125. You must know these for your exam. Thank you.